Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior and Community Center. I'm Reed Price, the director of the center. And today I'm going to be talking with Danielle Miller of the Talking Book and Braille Library. First, I want to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island for sponsoring Something to Talk About, which is a award-winning, I guess, again this year, 2025, we were named the Best of Bainbridge podcast, and we appreciate the attention. We do our best. Anyway, Fieldstone offers independent living, assisted living, and memory care, and they would love to have you come by for a visit. To find out about that and their day stay and respite care programs, call Randy O'Neill or Sierra Wood at 206 594 1010 or check out their website at fieldstonecommunities.com. Also, we'd like to acknowledge that we are living on the ancestral homeland of the people of the Salish Sea, and here on Bainbridge Island, specifically the Suquamish, the people of the clear salt water, who have been living on the shores of the Salish since time immemorial. We honor them and we are grateful for their stewardship, and we are hoping to be better stewards thanks to their example. Danielle, you're the director of the Talking Book and Braille Library in our state. Is that right?
Yes, I'm the director and regional librarian of the Washington Talking Book and Braille Library. We're located in Seattle, but we do provide service for the entire state.
And one of the things that I've talked about a little bit with you is that with the budget challenges, both state and nationally, there's been some confusion about what's available or not, and you've had to curtail some of the outreach or that sort of thing. Could you tell us a little bit about how budget uncertainties have affected Talking Book and Braille?
Sure. I want to just stress for listeners first that we are open and our primary services are all still operational, but we have had some budget challenges. We have three sources of funding right now: state, federal, and donor funds. And in the last legislative session, we did not receive the state funding we needed. So we had to take some cuts and do some layoffs. And our federal funding, which comes to us through the Institute of Museum and Library Services, we had lost, and then it was reinstated after we were part of a 21 state lawsuit against the current administration. And that lawsuit was awarded in our favor, and so our federal funds were reinstated. So right now we have our federal funds, but the future of those federal funds is uncertain. But we did have to take cuts at the state level. So what that means is we had four staff layoffs, and that included our front desk person. So we had to close the building to the public, and our primary phone line is now voicemail only. So people will have to leave a voicemail when they call. And we are calling people back the same day. So I recognize that that is a real inconvenience, but we are getting back to people right away. They can also send us an email, but we will call you right back. So it's primarily about access to the library where things are cut back right now. But in terms of getting books and getting support and us doing the rest of what we do, everything is still going on. And we are going strong in this next legislative session, advocating for funding. The outlook is pretty bleak, but we have a lot of great supporters who are rallying for funding for us, but the future is uncertain.
Okay, we'll share those numbers and email later, and I'll put them in the notes if you're watching this or listening to it online in the description. There's links for how to contact the Talking Book and Braille. Um, so tell me about the services that the library provides, because I can see why you have a lot of great support, because this is a real vital thing for people with vision loss. To stay connected and learn about what's going on in the world and be engaged as we all should be.
Absolutely. So we are a network library of the National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, which is a program of the Library of Congress. And there are some basic core services that we are required to provide, and that includes circulating books, talking books or audiobooks, and Braille books that are part of the National Collection, which is a collection that is shared between all the libraries that are similar to us in every state in the country. And so we provide access to that. And those are books that go in the mail. The service is completely free. Those books go in the mail, and we provide a talking book player for the audiobooks. And the physical Braille books go in the mail, or we loan a refreshable Braille display, which is a device that has little pins that go up and down to simulate Braille. And people can download electronic Braille books. People can also download audiobooks from Bard, which is the Braille and audio reading download site, which we support. There's also a mobile app that is also called Bard, Braille and audio reading download, that people can use on a tablet or their mobile phone and access the books in audio and Braille. So that's the core service with the National Library Service that we support, and it's very much like a public library collection. There are over 170,000 audiobooks, more getting added daily, and over 50,000 Braille books, again, with more being added constantly. But we have great support from our patrons, from the state library, from the blind consumer groups, volunteers, donors. So we're able to add additional services. We also produce books locally in the library here. We have a Braille department and an audiobook production department. So we produce books in Braille here and books in audio. We've got 10 recording studios and a Braille department. We have about 100 narrators and 25 book reviewers and about 25 Braille volunteers. And so we produce books that are primarily about the Northwest, set in the Northwest, or by Northwest authors in audio and Braille, and those supplement the national collection. And when they're finished, they are uploaded to Bard, the Braille and audio reading download, and they're made available to Washington patrons and all the other National Library Service patrons nationally. So that helps increase the number of books that are available to everyone. So that's really important. We also have a youth services program that is very robust and does a summer reading program, a pen pal program, Braille literacy programming, multisensory story time when we're open to the public, and supports the School for the Blind, teachers of the visually impaired, and families with early literacy and programming throughout the year. And we have a librarian who does training and instruction and will support our patrons using any of our technology or learning how to download books or use the Bard mobile app on their phone or tablet. So if people are having any difficulty with our service, there's someone who can help them over the phone or through email, or if they are somewhere in the vicinity of the library, they can come in. Even now, you can make an appointment and come into the library and get help with our technology or downloading books. And we do have an outreach librarian, and we will travel around the state to do visits to public libraries, senior centers, retirement homes, care facilities to talk about the service and help get people signed up to use the library. And I just told you a lot, and I'll stop
Yes, you sure
there.
did. Okay. I just wanted to sort of roll back. One of the things that you talked, well, two of the things you talked about
Yeah.
were the cassette players. They're actually more of a they look like a cassette player, but they're more of a reader, I guess, a flash drive.
Yeah.
And very easy to use. My dad with visual impairment was able to, because of both the size of the controls, the fact that there are different colors, and the idea that that you can actually get the device to talk to you. He pretty
Yes.
quickly figured out how to make it work.
Yes, this is, I'm holding up. This is the new one we have. And so it's called a digital talking book machine. And just like you said, all the keys will talk to you. We can set them to speak in English or Spanish. Each key will describe its function and how to use it. They're all different shapes, different colors. They have a Braille letter next to them as well. And they also have in print the name of the key, and they have great speakers. They have a clear feeling entry point for where the digital talking book cartridge or talking book goes. They plug in, they go on battery, or you can plug them in. This new player that we have, if anyone listening uses the service or signs up, you can request one. The thing that's new about it is it has built-in wireless, so you can connect to Bard and download books directly
Oh
to
my
it.
goodness, that
It
sounds wonderful.
yeah, it also has Bluetooth, so you could connect a Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headphones to it. We still have the other talking book player that we've had since 2009 that is very simple to use. It has fewer keys, but they also speak to you, tell you how to use it. It has a great speaker, again, super easy to use, and
Yeah,
we can send that
that's
one out to
that's
people.
the one my dad had, and yeah, it would last for hours without being plugged in, which was great because he would not necessarily be near somewhere or he'd want to move, and he could just lug the book with him.
Exactly. Yeah, they
Um,
both have handles, so you can carry it around.
and the other thing that in addition to the books that you were talking about, I know that he was getting a periodical. I think it was the New Yorker, maybe.
Yes, we have a lot of magazines that people can subscribe to. Um, Gosh, there are probably 40 different magazines, maybe more. And we actually duplicate those magazines here at the library. People can subscribe, and we duplicate them here on Thursdays. So anytime anyone is due a new issue, those get sent out from the library. So lots of choices. We can send out a list of what is available, and people can let us know what they want to subscribe to, or we can let them know over the phone what's available.
And I'll also mention that here at the center, we have a waterfront book reading group that's coordinated by Tressa Johnson, a librarian at the Bainbridge Public Library, Kitsap Regional Library. And she always makes sure that the books that are on that list are in your library. So,
Yes, and I emailed with Tressa just a couple days ago, and I wanted to make sure everyone knew that we can put all 12 of the books for the year on one digital cartridge. So someone could call us or email us, and we could send them the books for the year so they have them all. And one of the great things about our service is that all of our books are available at all times. You never have to put a hold on anything and wait for it. And we also have no due dates. So, for example, with that waterfront book group, you could have all 12 of the books for the whole year. So we could send them to you in December of this year for the next year, and you have them all year long. So we really try and customize the service and get people exactly what they want, how they want it, when they want it.
the other thing that I learned in this process was that if you have um, a subscription or a connection, I don't know how you'd refer to the relationship with your patrons, but um, you can also tell you what kinds of books you like to read. So I like to read American history. I don't really want to read fiction, say, or the vice, turn that upside down. I really prefer literary fiction and don't send me a lot of histories, send me biographies. And then you'll just keep sort of returning similar books, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's on our application when people sign up, and we probably about 75 or 80% of our patrons do their service this way. And we call it a profile system or auto select. And people sign up and they tell us the subjects or authors or genres they're interested in, just like you said. So mystery or suspense, and maybe they like Mary Higgins Clark and J.A. Jance and cozy mysteries. And so we create a profile for them with those subjects, and then our circulation system will match up the books with the interests of the library patron. And usually we start people with 3 cartridges with 7 books on each cartridge. So everyone starts out with 21 books. That's a lot. So it'll keep you going for a while. And so as soon as somebody returns a book, they get a new book. and it just keeps going back and forth. So everyone always has books, but we can customize that. Someone could call and say, "Oh, I got this mystery and I really hated it. So don't send me any more of this author." Or they can get one and they say, "Oh, I loved this author. I want all this author's books." Or we can send a series in order. Or if someone gets a narrator that they didn't like, we can exclude a specific narrator because we all know how much the narrator matters. That can really make or break a book. So we can adjust it that way. We can really tinker and make that profile as customized as, somebody wants it. And if 7 books is too many for somebody on a cartridge, we can put 1 book on a cartridge. We have some people who get 25 books on a cartridge and 5 cartridges because they're reading all the time. So we can really do whatever anybody wants.
Yes, I had a next door neighbor growing up, and when the bookmobile would come, she would carry this stack of
E-
mysteries in and take a stack of mysteries out.
Exactly.
So I can tell from your descriptions that you really do enjoy your job. How did you happen to land in this line of library work?
I do love it. This place is my heart and soul. I've been here almost 18 years
Wow.
and it's the best job I've ever had. I love it. I worked in public libraries and academic libraries before here. And in particular, in public libraries, I always found it most rewarding to help people who had the most barriers to accessing service. So whether it was people who had a language barrier or were doing talk time or citizenship classes, or whether it was people that came with disabilities or seniors needing large print, or really whatever it was. And when I was in academic libraries, international students or people who needed to check out course reserves, really just anyone who needed that extra help or had challenges accessing information. So when this job opened up, and I thought, wow, if you aren't able to read standard print, what a huge barrier to accessing information and the inability to be able to read all that's out there. I would love to be a part of making as much available as possible and removing those barriers and helping people have access to information and reading materials to be able to read again, to read for life, to get Braille in the hands of kids who need it, because that's true literacy in your primary language and a pathway to higher education and living wage jobs. So it just really spoke to me, and it's been such a wonderful path in my life.
And I can see, from what you were just describing, that the technology has really helped make this accessibility possible.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you. Is there anything else you want to mention about your work before we wrap up here?
Well, I would just say, definitely, anybody listening, spread the word. We serve about 8,000 patrons, but that's only a fraction of the number of people who could use the service. People who qualify also include people who have difficulty holding a book or turning a page for any reason, any physical reason. People with dementia or traumatic brain injuries could qualify. People with reading disabilities like dyslexia. So it's a very broad range, really. Anybody who has difficulty with print could qualify for our service. So if you know somebody, let them know, because there are probably easily 250,000 people in Washington or more who would be eligible for the library. And even with our challenges with budget right now, we're here to serve them and get them books, and we want to provide that access.
Well,
So if
thank you.
people
Thank you for
spread
that.
the word, that's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you for the dedication. I'm wondering, do I need a referral or somebody to connect me with you the first time?
There is an application and it's on our website, or we can mail it out, and it does need to be certified by a professional, but there are a large number of people who can do that. It can be a librarian, an activity director at a retirement home or care facility, doctor, ophthalmologist. Um, there are just a number of people who can do it. So hopefully it's not too much of a hardship to get that certified.
Great. So, yeah, you're located in Seattle. Not the door is not open, but if you could make an appointment
You can make an appointment.
for going to the location in Seattle, the phone number is 206 615 0400. And
Yes.
the email?
The email is wtbbl at sos.wa.gov.
Okay, and those are also in the links. Thank you,
Yes.
Danielle. I really appreciate you spending the time with us today. Wonderful service, and I'm glad that we can try to help people know that it's out there.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity and I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Thanks so much.
Bye bye.